Hello and a warm welcome today to Conny Decorates and Micha the cameraman. That's right, today we've made some really lovely January, winter and early spring decorations, and as you can see we've simply spruced up two decorative pieces from the Christmas season for this pre-spring time while still keeping a bit of winter in them. And we really love it, especially this combination. And if you want to know how this theme works, stay tuned because we're going to show you now. Exactly. And for restyling our wreaths from Christmas, today we need, here we have this wreath, and up here in the info box you can check out how this wreath was made. It's really simple, with branches, moss and moss with jute. And next to it I have the wreath, right, and it's just covered with moss, not wrapped at all, but it's dried out really well, and I think this base is still wonderful. And then let's see what else I have. I have a glass, and I also have this glass container here which my root belonged to. It's a bit broken, but it still holds water tightly. Then I have 3 floating candles here and a string of lights which I use again and again. Especially in spring, it's wonderful with these little blossoms. Then I just picked up some branches from our lawn, and what I actually found after a long search are tulips, and we'll be decorating with those today as well. And I'd say, let's get started. And first of all, we're going to start by clearing everything off. I'm going to take everything out here first. Of course, the star, we'll set that aside nicely. Then this wonderful lantern, which we've really had on for a long, long time now, especially at Christmas and before. The string of lights and the candle were always on, but those are going away too. I'm also taking down the string of lights because there are stars on it now, which is of course very Christmassy. And what else am I taking off? I'm definitely taking off the apple slices and the ornaments. I think you can definitely leave the pine cones on. You can also just leave a few on or take them all off completely. But I'd say I'll get started and remove a few things now. Here I just cut off a bit of glue, and I really don't think that's a problem at all. Now you can just take some of the threads here, pull them out, cut them off at the back, and then I'll just stick this back into the wreath. I gotta be seen, back it up. Yeah. No plan to retire, go by there, 90. I just cut off some of the glue when it was stuck here, frayed it out again, and yeah, I think it looks really beautiful. I also left some pine cones on because I think it makes for a really lovely, it's still a bit of a winter decoration after all, it's January, but it's also a pre-spring decoration, and later on you can probably already imagine it. You can decorate it wonderfully with eggs and feathers, but we're not quite there yet. We still want to have some winter decorations, and cut flowers are always wonderful for that. So I'm going to place the vase in here now, and as you can see it's obviously way too tall. That means I'm going to take out the moss I had put in earlier to add some height. So I'll take that out for now and leave the rest in. Now I'll put the vase in here, and I think it looks wonderful. I really think it fits. Now you can easily put plants in here later, branches, anything you have, so really anything throughout the spring. And if you happen to get a fresh bouquet, roses or tulips, you can put them in and it always looks beautiful. So I'll just leave the vase in there for now. And now I'll take the string of lights. Oops, a bit loud. And as you can see, I use 2 wreaths here. One where I wrapped just the branches all the way around, and the other I placed on top. Now I'll thread this string of lights in between them. I think it's really cute, especially with these little blossoms, and I'll just tuck it in between both wreaths. And what's really practical, of course, is that you can simply lift the battery compartment up here, set it to timer, and place it down here into our container. So now we have the light from the outside, and now we'll take the mossy branches from the garden. Now I'll start by cutting the mossy branches to length. I'll just see how tall I want them to be, and it's definitely helpful if you clean the branches a bit at the bottom, rinse them under water so that not too much dirt gets into the water. With tulips, it's always practical to only put a little bit of water in the vase, so that's what I'll do now. I'll just take them out for a moment. Some things have already fallen in here, and I would say I'll just pour in a little splash, and that's enough for the tulips. They don't need much water, and they also absorb a lot of water. Always keep checking. Exactly, and that's why you don't need much water for the branch here either. That's sufficient if you aim for approximately that height. Simply rinse and clean it again with water. And I'm cutting some branches to length now, and I think it looks quite nice. And I'm most looking forward to seeing who puts them all in the vase right now. Finally, really beautiful color, and with tulips too. I love tulips. I find this time of year absolutely beautiful, and you only need to cut them once, and now you can wonderfully incorporate them into or between the branches, and that's what I'm going to do. I really like it, don't you, Micha? Yes, exactly. Yes, spring is sprouting from the wintry food, exactly from the mossy part. Now, I didn't push some of the tulips, especially the longer ones, all the way in, because while I was doing it, I just wanted them to look a bit like they're growing out. I mean, that's what they do anyway. Tulips really shoot up after all. I really like that, this playfulness, especially with these branches. There were an incredible number of tulips. I kept a few aside and used the vase for the study, but we just used so many because the bunch was so big. Of course, you can do this with other flowers too, and even with just a few flowers. But as I said, we just happened to have so many, so we simply decorated with them here, and we really like how it turned out. And here again with the string lights, and exactly the counterpart that's now going on the table, that's the second wreath. Here I've now removed the stars. There were those rusted stakes in it, and we had candles on top. All of that has been completely taken down. As I said, it was never fixed in place. We just put the moss loosely on the straw wreath. I think it was straw, yes, just laid it on top like that, and it has dried out really well. But so that I have this play of colors from these natural materials, including jute, in this wreath, I'm now taking this paper-wrapped wire, and yes, I'm going to secure it here by twisting it a few times, pulling it down so you can't see it, and then I'm going to wrap the wire around the wreath a few times. Not really to fix anything in place because it actually holds together really well, but simply because I want to use it as a decorative element this time. And that means I can just go all over the place with it now. I always think it looks really nice, but it's always a bit tricky with this spool, so I just cut off a piece beforehand. I've now cut off a piece and wrapped it around my hand a few times, so you don't get caught everywhere, because it really is such fiddly work when you're working with the wire like this. It's much, much easier this way, so I always just cut off a little bit and then go around the wreath, wrapped it around once. I still have a significant piece remaining, so now I'm carefully going back again, and at this point we have created a distinct kind of cross, essentially like a perfect cross. That's precisely how I am meticulously doing it here. I consistently keep laying it across in this particular manner, and now we've truly and securely wired it very nicely and firmly into place. Exactly, and now I'm putting it back on this plate where it was before. I really like using this white curry moss because it adds a bit of that wintry feel with the white, and you can easily pull it out later, but I think it always works well like this. Exactly. And we'll leave that on there for now. Now I'm taking this jute fabric, which I also love to use for decorations, just cutting off a piece, and you can use it really well around the outside here. Look, just pull it a little, make a few small fringes, and you can even make great placemats with it. We should actually do that sometime. You can create really beautiful patterns with it. Then yes, I'll pull it off on the other side as well. Now I'll scrunch it up a bit and place it right here in the middle. It doesn't have to be neat at all, just like a little nest really. You can also easily redecorate it for Easter later on. I actually want to place the glass right on top here, and the fabric also gives me a bit of height so that it sits nicely on top. We're almost at the end. Now I'll just pour in the remaining water and add the floating candles. but you could also easily place a lantern in the middle. Or you could plant some lovely early bloomers in the center. That would work great too. But since we already have the container for the cut flowers, and that's standing next to it, we're going to put our floating candles in here now, and I think it fits perfectly. It went really quickly again, or maybe got a bit messy here with the mossy branches, but that's just part of it. And now we have both finished, one with the floating candles and one for the fresh flowers that you can keep changing out. You can put any colors in there, and that's really the nice thing about it. Exactly, and now we're going to go downstairs with you and decorate our table with it. And that's it, that's our theme. And Manny likes it too, right? Yes, and of course we also hope that this winter to spring theme inspired you and that you liked it. If so, we'd really appreciate a thumbs up, Manny. Exactly. And dear friends, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and we're also on Pinterest. But Laura is still working on setting that up. That will be starting soon too. And we're looking forward to the next few days, Micha. Yes, it's wonderful. The sun is shining today. Exactly. It's really pleasant for a change. And we wish you a wonderful day and a great week. See you soon, yours Conny and your cameraman. That's right, dear friends. See you then. Bye.